I have often wondered how much of me I am because that's really me, and how much is just because that's what other people have expected of me over the years. I guess that's a difficult question to answer, but I have realized that the only person who can answer that is me, and the only person who can make sure I stay true to myself is also me, and that's exactly what this video is about. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about how to stay true to yourself. Staying true to yourself in a world so focused on material success, I guess, is definitely not easy, that's for sure. But there are a few things that I do in my life that really help me to feel like myself, and those are exactly the things I want to talk about in this video. Oftentimes, when I stop prioritizing these habits, it will mean that I will start feeling kind of lost and with a sense of no direction in my life. And mostly it's as easy as starting to pick up these habits again consistently that will really help me feel happier in my life and more like myself. And yeah, as I said, those are exactly the things I want to talk about in this video. Number one, understanding where other people's opinions are coming from. As children, we kind of grow up believing that whenever someone else tells us something about us or our life is not good, that's true because obviously this person is older and so they know better. And so as adults, we grow up thinking that the other people's opinions are true. And so we always try to build our life in a way where when other people would look at it, they would either express to us or think that what we are doing is good. I think that's just a human way of thinking. But when you actually look at it, most people are not happy with their life and who they are. And so it really makes no sense to base our idea on what a happy and successful life means to us on most other people if most other people aren't even happy themselves. So over the years, I've tried to kind of retrain my brain, and I'm still trying to look at my life and if I am happy with it through my own eyes and not through the eyes of other people, because most people feel trapped in the expectations and the opinions of other people, and so it's difficult for them to understand someone who's trying to live from a different state. Oftentimes, when you're trying to become who you really are and who you really want to be, and you haven't found enough people in your life yet who accept and embrace that version of you, you might even start hearing less compliments and more backlash. And that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just that most people's opinions come from a dissatisfaction in their own life. And that's really important to understand. Number two, finding the right people. Once I understood that that way of thinking will not bring me forward in my life to where I want to go, it was so important for me to start finding people who accept and embrace me as that version that I want to become. And honestly, for that, one good person can be enough. Because if you're in an environment where everyone around you only accepts and loves you when you fit into their expectations, I would say it's almost impossible to become who you really want to be. You would have to be really, really strong for that. Because oftentimes the need to be accepted and to be loved can be louder than the need to be happy for yourself. And if you feel like there's no one around you who you can access for that, nowadays there are so many ways to meet people online. Like, as I said, one person who is kind of like a cheerleader for who you want to become is enough, even if you just have digital contact with that one person. And there is that person out there for everyone, even though sometimes it might feel like that's not the case, but there is. And so it's really just about keeping your mind open and trying to find those people. Number three, journaling. To be who you really are, you have to get to know yourself first. And even once you've done that, you have to continuously put in effort to do so, because we are all always changing and evolving. For me, a good way to kind of check in with myself and get to know this ever evolving myself whose ideas and goals are always changing is journaling. Journaling is not always an easy thing because the space to kind of ignore how you're really feeling, which is sometimes the easier way, gets minimized, I guess. But for me, I've realized that it's just a matter of staying consistent and kind of pushing through those difficult phases. And at some point, the positive benefits of journaling became so clear to me that now it's really difficult to ever go back. And even if you don't like actually writing in your journal, there are different ways to get similar effects of this. For example, sometimes oftentimes I will use like the photo booth app on my Mac, and I will just record myself kind of talking to myself and speaking out everything that's on my mind. And if you don't like talking to a camera, then you could also just do like voice notes. There are a lot of options to kind of play with this, but there is a longer and proper video on journaling coming very soon. Number 4, alone time without any distractions. Being alone is obviously the best setup to get to know yourself, but for me, I realized that it's become important to not simply spend time by myself doing 1,000 things at the same time, but to spend time by myself doing only things that inspire me for the simple reason that they inspire me. And oftentimes I can feel kind of guilty doing only things that inspire me because they inspire me, because it can feel kind of unproductive. I could be doing something else in that moment that would get me somewhere. But funny enough, over time I've realized that the most amazing excitements and ideas have come to me when I have been alone and I was doing like only things that I love because I love them. Because those are the moments where the ideas that are truly from my like true self and not from like the influences of other people's opinions, for example, can really come to my mind, because I've set that environment for myself to not try to achieve anything or impress anything or listen to someone else, but just to simply enjoy and be who I am. And that's individual, what you want to do in those moments. If you just want to sit on your bed and stare at the ceiling, or if you want to paint your nails, or if you want to, I don't know, do whatever, like it really doesn't matter. Anything where your thoughts are not distracted. For me, I enjoy going for walks in nature by myself, and I also enjoy drawing. Those are kind of the moments that work for me, but that's really individual. Number 5, discipline and consistency. For example, let's say you love playing the piano. It's what excites you, it's what you love doing, it's your passion. Once you've become aware of that, it's so important to stay consistent and disciplined with that, because once these thoughts come, and as I said, these thoughts will come, such as, no, I'm not going to play now because I could be doing something else where I would where I would earn more money, or I could be doing something else that other people would like more, or that my parents would like more, or where I would get more compliments, whatever. And as I said, these thoughts will come. It's so important to have a system in place built around that passion of yours that is not easily shaken by these thoughts. For example, you tell yourself, every week on these and these days at this time I will play the piano for 1 hour no matter what. And so you've built a system based on what you love, where even when these thoughts come and try to distract you, this part of you and this part of what you love doing will not be distracted by that. It's normal to fall out every now and then, but then catch yourself again. Like, what are the things that you love doing and what do you want to do for them? For example, I don't always feel motivated to create videos, but over time I have built a system based around my love for videography that isn't very easily shaken. And so even though in that moment it might feel like I don't really want to work on my videos right now, I don't really feel like it, there's no space for me to really go there, anymore, because I've given myself a promise to stay consistent and I can't just break that promise. And oftentimes once I start working on my videos again, because I've made that promise to myself, I will realize that, oh my god, there was probably nothing else I would rather do in that moment, and this means so much to me and I love doing this. And I will see that the reasons why I didn't want to do it were oftentimes based on thoughts such as fears of the opinions of other people, fears of not being good enough, fear of the idea not being good enough, like different reasons, but not anything that really has to do with who I really am. It's kind of like giving a promise to your real self. I feel like I kind of told my real self, like, I'm not always gonna be you, because in this world it's difficult to always be you, but I can give you the promise that I will do these and these things consistently and disciplined. This promise I can and I will give. And those can be different things for different people. Number 6, remembering who you were as a child. I oftentimes wonder if my child version would be able to look at me and what I'm doing with my life right now, would she feel happy and proud? And that might sound weird, but hear me out. As children, we are the most unaffected by the opinions of other people and just simply our environment. And so obviously that's the version of myself that I would try to check in with in regards to what I'm doing with my life, even if it's just in my imagination. And if you feel like you weren't able to be yourself as a child, then try to imagine a version of yourself growing up on a world, not this world, another world, where no one ever told him or her who to be. And then see what comes up in your imagination. Like, what is this person wearing? What excites them? What are they working on? What are their goals in life? And then try to adapt your life now as much as you can, slowly, to that imaginative version of yourself in terms of anything. As I said, what she's wearing, what or he or she is wearing, doing, thinking about, wanting to do, like anything in all kinds of areas. You could even write down all of your ideas. And obviously it's impossible to do that completely because we live in a society and we have to adapt a little bit, but at least try to see what comes up in that imagination and then try your best to adapt your life now as much as you can to that. So these are all of the things that I try to incorporate in my life to make sure that I stay myself in a world where it can be easy to get lost in other people and their opinions. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and check out some other videos of mine. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I also hope to see you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching.